Salut à tous et à toutes, je suis Seros et bienvenue à tous dans la suite de What Remains of Edith Finch. Dans l'épisode précédent, j'étais un monstre sanguinaire qui n'arrêtait pas de dévorer toute chose vivante, jusqu'à me retrouver sous mon propre lit en train d'attendre que je m'endorme, afin que je puisse m'auto-dévorer parce que je suis délicieux. Oui, c'est bizarre dit comme ça, mais si vous avez raté l'épisode, je vous conseille d'aller le voir immédiatement parce que c'est juste énorme ce jeu. Quoi qu'il en soit, aujourd'hui, je ne sais pas ce que je vais faire, mais je vais juste ouvrir la fenêtre pour voir le petit chat. Ah, je suis carrément sorti en fait. Il y a moyen que je puisse entrer dans les autres pièces par rapport à ça.
But my mom never told me any of these stories.
D'accord.
Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past. Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly.
Donc c'était l'histoire du chat? Pour de vrai? Véridique? Vrai de vrai?
I spent a lot of time in Great-Grandma Edie's room. We got along and it was a good place to hide from my mom.
D'accord. Elle savait peindre, en tout cas, ça c'était sûr.
Louis died a week before we left, but Edie had already started to memorialize him.
Elle savait qu'il allait mourir? Ou bien il avait déjà disparu en fait?
Her room was like a museum. For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune and misfortune. Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse, his wife Ingeborg and their newborn son, Johan. On January 7th, 1937, he set sail with his family and his house, hoping to leave the curse behind. But 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea. Odin's daughter Edie, with husband Sven and baby Molly, step ashore on their new home, Orcas Island. Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new family cemetery. His daughter Edie is already dreaming of a new Finch house.
Oh. Ça m'a permis de connaître un petit peu plus au niveau de l'histoire de...
Whatever's wrong with this family,
Odin.
it goes back a long ways.
D'accord, je comprends maintenant comment ça fonctionne. Je dois donc potentiellement voir la vie de tous ces personnages qu'on voit sur l'arbre généalogique afin d'arriver à Edith, qui est potentiellement la fille que l'on joue actuellement. Oh, un petit pingouin! Je peux pas l'ouvrir ici. Non, je peux... Je peux pas avancer sur le lit. Construit en 1937, Sven's Fish.
When Edie told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed. She could have, but she didn't.
Ah, c'était donc ça le truc que j'ai vu en bas. Dans la cour, il y avait justement Dragon Kill Finch. Ok, d'accord. La tragédie frappe la famille Finch.
Even in her 90s, sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother.
Pas gentil pour la mère. Oh. Quoi cette moquette mauve là? C'était un peu chelou en fait.
The only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife Kay left on the house was the pink bathroom.
Ouais. C'est vraiment chelou.
It was a pretty big trace.
Une trace de taille. Putain, ce chien me gonfle. Il est en train de bousiller mon enregistrement là. There is a secret in this bathroom. Il y a un secret dans cette bathroom. Dans cette salle de bain, je veux dire.
There's a secret in this bathroom. It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book.
C'est trop cool. Quoi, c'est une salle noire en fait? Pour la photographie?
Sven gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down.
Et donc du coup il prenait des photos dans sa salle noire fabriquée sur mesure, on va dire. Hilton. Ah, je suis entré dans cette chambre aussi qui était verrouillée. Eh mais tu sais quoi, je vais faire pareil hein, dans ma chambre, je vais mettre plein de passages secrets et tout. Trop cool les passages secrets. For Sam, for Calvin. Et il y avait la frontière entre les deux. Oh d'accord, je comprends le truc.
I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin. And that he never talked about him.
Ils ont fait un... Il a fait un fort. Il s'est fait un fort au-dessus. Enfin un fort. C'est génial. Mais quelle idée fantastique.
I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
Les gamins, ils s'amuseraient trop.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it. My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom, and he did.
Merde.
At Barbara's funeral, we swore we'd never be afraid again, and he wasn't.
Le titre passe en noir et blanc à
I think
chaque fois.
Calvin always wanted to fly.
Il a sa jambe cassée, il a dû essayer de faire une bêtise en fait par rapport à ça.
But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it. I told him going around was impossible.
Oh fuck you.
Maybe if I hadn't said that.
Oh mon dieu.
I'm not gonna tell you again.
Maybe if the wind hadn't picked up. Then maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it.
Oh putain, il a dû se péter la gueule par rapport à ça.
I think he'd already made up his mind.
Oh putain, ça me fait trop peur.
That's what I want to remember about my brother.
Oh, il a réussi. Oui.
The day he made up his mind to fly. And he did.
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing.
Triste. Triste est tellement bien mise en scène.
After the funeral, Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room.
Je comprends mieux maintenant. La frontière c'était pas pour jouer en fait. La frontière c'était pour que personne n'y aille.
Mom said Grandpa Sam enlisted at 18 and never set foot in the room again.
Là-bas il y a un autre passage secret. Carrément des faux livres. Ah clairement, définitivement les gens. Je vais faire des passages secrets
The
dans la maison.
passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies.
Sortir par là, mais je vais d'abord regarder ce qu'il y a là-bas. Oh putain, j'ai vu Bigfoot.
Growing up, I always thought of Barbara as a child star.
Mon grand ami, le Bigfoot. Comme par hasard, on parle de Bigfoot, tu sais. Genre. Barbara.
I never thought about how hard it must have been for her afterwards.
Les chambres sont remplies.
Of all the stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
La fin surprise de Barbara Finch.
Old Jack here with another ghastly tale inspired by America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it The Surprise Ending of Barbara Finch. As a child star, Barbara was famous for her scream. Now at 16, she was all washed up. A has-been.
Oh.
But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room. So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
That came from the basement.
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box. The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe. I'll be back in a sec.
20 minutes later, Rick hadn't returned. So Barbara went to look for him, right on cue.
C'est juste génial la façon que c'est fait, non?
She reached for the music box.
Ah mais je touche à la musique box pour de vrai.
And as she wound the key, she listened for Rick, but the house was silent.
En fait, je joue là.
She found Rick's crutch and imagined the worst.
C'est trop bien fait ce jeu, putain. Oh yeah, baby! Oh yeah! Motherfucker! Tout défoncé! Oui! Non mais oh! On sait jamais! Regarde, ça c'est bien, c'est cool, on s'en fout! On renverse tout! Yata! Oh merde! Il y a du sang sur le mur. Oh mon dieu, c'est horrible ce truc.
The gang's leader is the infamous Hookman killer, Dr. Carl Hamill, who impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago tonight.
Oh putain, ça c'est la scie que le père était en train de couper dessus en fait. Sac de boxe! Je me dirige quoi, vers le frigo?
The old fridge rattled and grew still.
Prêt! Oh Dieu! Enculé! Oh merde!
Oh!
Rick?
Barb, relax. I was just trying to scare you to help you find your scream.
Well, I'm not scared, Rick. I'm furious.
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and...
Oh merde!
She threw him out, but she kept a little something to remember him by.
Barb,
Becky.
have you seen my other crutch?
And she was still holding it when she fell asleep watching the late picture show. hours later...
Barbara! Walter, what's going on up there? Ah! Okay, I'm coming up, but if this is a trick, you're dead, Walter.
Oh fuck. Et comment on fait pour monter là-haut? Pourquoi? Il y a un squelette dans la maison. J'aime bien la musique des années 80. À la Stranger Things. Stranger Things. Walter?
Walter, are you there? Walter had vanished, but his bedside radio was still on.
Orcas Island police describe the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand. Residents are urged to lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
Non.
Barbara turned, saw the hook man, and was speechless. He was quite smashing. And he couldn't get enough of Barbara.
Fuck.
Okay, Barbara, there's gotta be another way out of here.
Par ici?
That night, she played her part beautifully.
Et on a utilisé. Heureusement qu'il y a des passages secrets dans toute la maison, qui me permet d'éviter donc en fait. Oh, c'est la chambre de la petite. Le passage secret de cette chambre et. Je sais plus moi. Ah, on peut en sortir par la fenêtre, non?
She thought about abandoning Walter.
Ah, fuck.
Just couldn't do it. Molly's door hadn't been opened in years. The hinges groan.
Il va se prendre un coup dans la tête, lui. Damn! Allez! Bye bye, motherfucker!
He wasn't moving, but she sensed the story might not be over yet.
Donc on va descendre les escaliers et on va l'achever d'un bon coup de béquille dans la tête. Et bien sûr, il n'est plus là.
The hookman had vanished. She listened for his breathing, but all she heard was...
Dirigé vers la porte. Et le gars est toujours dans la maison, non?
At the door, she heard whispering. It was coming from inside the house.
Oh.
Oh dear.
The monsters had come to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream come true. Then she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be famous.
Oh dear.
Final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life.
On dirait, tiens, les contes chair de poule.
I wasn't there myself, but I hear Barbara was magnificent.
Damn.
Poor girl. She had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night. And little Walter, hiding under his bed the whole time. He took it all pretty hard, but that's another story. As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box was all they ever found of her. Her ear.
Damn!
Now that's what I call a real eerie tale.
Oh, le jeu de mots en anglais. Oh bordel. Oh bordel. C'est tellement malsain.
Edie told me all Barbara wanted was to be remembered, as absurd as that comic was.
D'accord.
Maybe what Edie saw was a happy ending.
Ouais, peut-être. En tout cas, c'était une histoire assez intéressante. En tout cas, les amis, je ne sais pas ce que vous avez pensé de cet épisode, mais surtout, n'hésitez pas à me le faire savoir avec un pouce bleu, partagez avec vos amis, abonnez-vous à la chaîne pour ne pas rater la suite. Je vous donne rendez-vous dans une prochaine vidéo. C'est Ross.